Are you ready for a dark ride into dystopia? Here's the official music video for my new single, Never Hope. We're going to watch it together, and then I'm going to tell you what changed everything. Now, you should know there's no AI music in this video. I created all the music myself.
Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You could give up anything but never hope. You start noticing the walls. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You can give up anything but never hope. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You can give up anything but never hope. The gray was never an accident. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You can give up anything but never hope. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You can give up anything but never hope. The door was never locked. Never, 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 never. You can give up anything but never hope. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You remember yourself. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You can give up anything but never hope. Never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope, never hope. You can give up anything but never hope.
Well, what did you think of that? I hope you take a minute to decompress. When you start working on a project, you rarely know what it's going to be until you finish the first draft. And as you're working, sure enough, something will come along that changes everything. And that's exactly what happened with this video. I was texting with my friend David, and we were talking about life and how sometimes you have to give things up. And I said, but never hope. We can never give up hope. And then he wrote, never hope. And I thought, how ironic that is. Because just the words never hope sounds like a command, like us as humans, we should never hope. And I joked with him that I could picture seeing us walking down the streets of Las Vegas wearing t-shirts with big yellow block letters on the back that said, never hope. And I think maybe it comes from my musical theater background, but I enjoyed this kind of Stephen Sondheim play on words where Never Hope by itself had a completely different context. So I did a rough sketch of the music so that then I could start creating AI video. You'll see in the video, right in the middle, there's a clip where a girl in sunglasses is looking at the camera, and all of a sudden a tear runs down her face and her eyes start to glow. And that was the moment that changed everything for me in this video. Because my AI prompt did not say that she was AI. That part came from the AI generation itself. So what changed with this video is I was getting the sense that this AI, this cyborg, was masquerading as a human, finally realized it wasn't working, cried the tear, and then shed the shell, the fakeness of their outer core to reveal that they are actually not human. So why did the AI create the clip that way? That I'm not sure. Maybe an AI hallucination. But I really enjoyed that kind of turn in the story. So I started creating more and more clips like that. And now my whole story changed. This video started out as an anti-war song. But as I created more of those clips, it seemed to me more that it wasn't humans crying out. It was humans crying out, but we're not sure who the humans are. Now, originally, this was an anti-war song, and I had these pretty lengthy essays about the human condition, freedom, resistance. But as I'm starting to listen to this with this kind of techno, industrial, cyberpunk kind of beat, I realize no one wants to listen to that. So all those long paragraphs that I wrote, I cut them down to their most important sentence or most important just couple of words. In script writing, they call that killing your darlings. I've written 4 full-length musicals, and in writing those scripts, I remember one of the musicals, the first draft of the script was 350 pages. Of course, that ends up getting cut down to about 100. And I also realized that in having these long texts, I mean, they almost sounded like Aristotle or Socrates, that first of all, in the context most people are going to listen to the song, no one's going to be able to concentrate on all that verbiage. They're in a party mode, they're at a rave, they're at a dance, they're at a club. And so by stripping this down to just a few words, I leave the music open for the listener, for you, to bring what's going on in your life to the actual experience of the music. An example would be, the door was never closed. That could mean many different things to you depending where you are right now in life. In songwriting, the advice, the best practice is to be as specific as possible, because it's the specifics that create a world that people can go into. So this was very counterintuitive to me, to pull it out and be as non-specific as I could. And this also fit the mantra, never hope, that repetition, so people could bring the meaning of those words to whatever they're experiencing in life as well. Normally for a music video, you have the music finished, and then you create the video to go with the music. This is how I've done most of the hundreds of music videos that I've done throughout the years. This journey was exactly the opposite. I had the sketch of the music, but I spent so much time creating those different visuals to get this dystopian kind of storyline going. I waited until that was finished, and then I customized the music to fit the video. This also meant that I was able to support a lot of the visuals, like when the people are hitting the anvils or when they're stomping their feet. I was able to put in different kinds of backbeats to kind of allude to that sound. Sometimes I felt like a wood carver with a little piece of wood, one potato, two potato, doing this little carving. This song itself is so simple when you listen to it, but I spent many, many hours really dialing in exactly the sound I wanted to go with each visual. One of my favorite parts of the video is when there is a different face for every 16th note. 32 different faces. Bum, 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 bum. I did all of those by hand, stitching them in. And I'm kind of amazed when I look at it that our brains can retain all those different faces, even though they're going by so incredibly fast. While I was working on this video, a friend texted me, "Hey, what are you up to?" And I sent them a couple screenshots of the video. And they wrote back, "You are so creepy cool." I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it's okay to be a little creepy as long as the cool part is still in there with it. My takeaway from all of this is that you don't really know what a project is about until you're on the journey of creating it. That's where all these magical mistakes, could you call them, come up. So, what projects are you thinking about working on, but you haven't started yet? Are you still planning them? Because you won't really find a lot of the beauty of that project until you're working on it. Now go back and watch the video and look for that girl, the cyborg with the tear that changed everything in this video. And I think maybe you'll see it differently now.